Why some COVID positive patients will have only mild symptoms like cold cough or loss of smell and taste, and why some other people will have severe symptoms like pneumonia, sometimes acute respiratory distress syndromes, and some people will even die in ICU. What exactly happens inside ICU? Let's talk. Kindly watch my previous video about pulse oximeter and also the first part of this video, what happens to COVID positive patient inside ICU, to understand the present video in a more better way. According to the protocol, FiO2 should be started from 0.4. The objective is to maintain SpO2 more than 90%. We have already discussed about the tidal volume in my previous video, that is the volume of air which we take in one breath. There is something known as minute volume, that is the volume of air which we breathe in 1 minute is considered as minute volume. Inside ICU, we'll calculate how many times a person is breathing in 1 minute. That is known as respiratory rate. And there's something more important, that is known as PEEP, that is positive end expiratory pressure.
This is actually very interesting. Observe here. Sometimes due to disease process like COVID-19, some of the alveoli will be collapsed. See, these are normal alveoli and these are collapsed alveoli which are not working at all right now. When you increase PEEP, that is positive end expiratory pressure, inflation of these alveoli will take place and it leads to more gift exchange, or in other words, gas exchange like oxygen and carbon dioxide.
There is a side effect for everything. If we increase PEEP too much, there is a chances of patient going to hypotension. That means the BP will go down, especially in a scenario like pulmonary embolism and inferior wall myocardial infarction. This thing can be disastrous. Normally, PEEP should be between 3 to 5 centimeter of water. Till now, we have discussed ICU words like tidal volume, minute volume, FiO2, PEEP, SpO2, that is oxygen saturation in our body, heart rate, that is number of times our heart beats in 1 minute, pulse rate. Now suppose when a patient is having low oxygen saturation, that is SpO2 less than 90%, in cases like COVID positive patients, then we will provide them oxygen by adjusting FiO2 and PEEP inside ICU. In some other cases, when carbon dioxide is increased inside our body, like in case of respiratory acidosis, we will increase respiratory rate and minute volume. This will wash out carbon dioxide from our body.
If we understand this basic knowledge, now we are ready to enter ICU. This is COVID ICU. You should enter only with PPE kit. Most important thing is you should know how to use PPE kit and how to remove it properly. This is the monitor inside ICU showing the ICU words which we have learnt like FiO2, PEEP, tidal volume and so on. These are ventilators. We will use this to provide invasive and non-invasive ventilation. In invasive, we will insert the instrument like endotracheal tube into trachea, and in non-invasive ventilation we use tight-fitting face mask. This is the ventilator monitor showing modes of ventilation. The most commonly used mode is ACMV, that is assist control mode ventilation. Here, I have tried to explain breathing of a patient in the form of flow chart or bar chart. I have set assistant control 12 per minute. That is like every 5 seconds, ventilator will trigger one breath to the patient. And tidal volume will be 500 ml. And FiO2 at the moment 0.4. That is 40% of oxygen we are providing to the patient. So let us see what the ventilator will do for the breathing of the patient. It is the breath of the patient occurring every 5 seconds, and that is triggered by ventilators. It is known as ventilator triggered breathing. Here the red, patient is trying to breathe. The moment sensors in the ventilator detects that patient is trying to breathe, in between this 5-second interval, it will give assist to the patient and it will help to complete the breath, but only maximum of 500 ml, as we have set the volume limit to 500 ml. This is known as patient triggered breath. Now we will discuss about SIMV mode, that is synchronized intermittent mandatory ventilation. Here, inspiratory and expiratory efforts are shown. I have programmed the ventilator in similar fashion. It is supposed to deliver breath to the patient every 5 seconds. Here, let us suppose if a person is breathing, the ventilator will not support the patient breath. So he may not reach the tidal volume of 500 ml. So the highlight of this mode is no assistance is provided. Unlike the previous ventilator modality, ACMV, where assistance was provided. But the backup is every 5 seconds the breath is provided to the patient by ventilator. So minute volume is maintained. See, this is very important. Listen carefully. Now suppose if the person is trying to breathe when the ventilator is also trying to help the person breathing, like for example 10-second interval, the ventilator drive will be inhibited. This is a major disadvantage. Then the assured guaranteed breath will be not provided to the patient. This will lead to reduction of total minute volume.
The side effect of SIMV mode is hypoventilation. Well, these graphs and all for some of us will look like aliens, but definitely it's not. It is simple and straightforward. It is not a rocket science. If you just focus on what I'm explaining, definitely you people will understand this.
This is NIV, that is non-invasive ventilation. This provides good oxygen delivery using tight-fitting face mask.
Well, the advantages of non-invasive ventilation is sometimes because of the ventilator, pneumonia will happen. That is known as ventilator associated pneumonia. Most common organisms like Pseudomonas and Staph aureus will affect this. The second benefit of non-invasive ventilation is we can avoid local trauma. Well, this coronavirus is transmitted mainly through respiratory droplets. Sometimes also getting contact into our mucosa like mouth, nose or eyes. Also sometimes due to aerosols, coronavirus will get transmitted. Aerosols in the sense when you are stayed in an enclosed space with a COVID positive patient, and if he sneezes or coughs without covering his mouth by hand or handkerchief or with mask, then chances are there that you may also get affected. The coronavirus will get into our body through cells which has ACE2 receptors. They are located in multiple sites inside our body. Besides lungs, they are located in
Tongue, nose, throat, stomach, intestine, spleen, liver, kidney, brain, beneath the skin, not on the skin, and also on lymph nodes and testes as well.
When the virus gets into your mouth, nose or throat, it causes cold-like symptoms and also loss of taste, loss of smell and also sore throat. And when the virus reaches your stomach, intestine, colon, or any part of the gut, it causes nausea or vomiting or loose motion, loose stool, diarrhea, and abdominal discomfort. When virus gets all the way down to the alveoli, that's when it causes severe respiratory problems like acute respiratory distress syndromes, in which there will be a breathing difficulty, severe cough, and also the oxygen level will go down in your body. That can be seen as in pulse oximeter, that SpO2 will be very low. The severity of the disease depends upon immune system, like how strong your immune system is. In some patients with diabetes mellitus, especially uncontrolled sugar patients, hypertensive or BP patient, and also asthmatics, and also chronic smokers should be very careful. And then age is very important criteria. Extreme ages like in old people and also very young generation will have severe problems.
Third most important thing is viral load. The amount of virus gone inside a person at the time of infection. The higher the amount of virus, severe will be the infection. This is the normal X-ray of a person showing prominently ribs on both the sides. This chest X-ray is of COVID-19 patient showing congestion. The inflammatory reaction that occurs with COVID-19 is extremely complicated with lots of different proteins, hormones, and interleukins, especially interleukin 6. This is normal CT scan of chest. This is CT scan of the chest of COVID-19 positive patient. You can observe on left hand side ground glass opacification. That is partial or full filling of alveoli will be there with fluids, inflammation, and protein and all similar stuffs. This is the pathological slide of a normal lung tissue. This is the real pathological slide of COVID-19 positive patient taken from autopsy. Here you can see hyaline membrane formation with deposition of proteins and cellular debris, lymphocytes and macrophages as well.
All this leads to increased inflammation in the alveoli. The second important thing is it also leads to microthromboembolism. That is, there will be small clots in the capillary of the lung, and then it leads to pulmonary vasoconstriction. That means the blood vessels inside the lungs will get constricted, and it will lead to pulmonary hypertension. The BP will increase only inside the lungs. That's a bit dangerous situation, and that in turn leads to decrease in oxygen saturation inside the blood. So the oxygen saturation will be very, very low. In my next video, I will discuss more about treatment protocols. What is the treatment for the mild to moderately affected COVID positive patients, and what is the treatment for severely ill patients who are admitted in ICU. Today, I would like to dedicate this video to all the COVID warriors who are continuously and tirelessly working in this pandemic, and also to the responsible people of our country who are strictly following preventive measures like wearing mask, maintaining social distance, and also regularly washing their hands. I would like to dedicate with love to them. At last but not